History of war, some alliances are so unexpected that they resemble dangerous games more than actual peace agreements. In 1939, Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union, two ideological enemies, signed a pact that stunned the world. But within just 2 years, that alliance collapsed, and it led to the largest military invasion in human history, Operation Barbarossa. What's more surprising is an event during that invasion, a moment that revealed the German army was completely unprepared for what lay ahead. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, signed in August 1939, allowed Germany and the USSR to divide Poland between them. In return, the Soviets agreed to supply Germany with vital resources like oil, grain, and metals. On the surface, it looked like peace had been achieved, but behind the scenes, mistrust was absolute. Later that year, the Soviet Union invaded Finland without informing Germany. The Winter War turned out to be a costly and difficult campaign for the Red Army. Hitler was furious. He saw it as a clear sign that Stalin was expanding Soviet influence without coordination. Soon after, the USSR annexed the Baltic states and occupied parts of Romania. From Hitler's point of view, the Soviet Union was becoming a direct threat to German interests. And so, the decision was made. The Soviet Union had to be eliminated.
On 22nd of June 1941, Adolf Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa, Germany's invasion of the Soviet Union. It was the beginning of a campaign that would ultimately decide the Second World War. At first, the Germans enjoyed stunning success. The panzers forged ahead while the Luftwaffe ruled the skies. Hundreds of thousands of Russian soldiers were killed or captured in huge encirclement battles. Germany seemed to be on the brink of another major victory.
On June 22, 1941, Operation Barbarossa began. Over 3 million German soldiers invaded Soviet territory from 3 directions: north toward Leningrad, south into Ukraine, and a massive central force aimed directly at Moscow. The Red Army was caught off guard. German forces advanced rapidly, occupying thousands of kilometers in just weeks. Many believed that Moscow would fall before the end of the summer, but then the unthinkable happened. As German troops neared Moscow, the temperature dropped below minus 30 degrees Celsius. Vehicles stopped working, engines froze, and the German army, lacking winter clothing, was trapped in the Siberian cold. Why? Because the Nazi high command believed the war would be over before winter. Winter gear had been deemed unnecessary. Soldiers who had arrived with tanks and trucks were now digging trenches in the snow, using shovels and bare hands.
Please like this video and subscribe the channel. Thank you, dear viewers.
The reasons for Germany's failure went beyond the cold. First, their forces were too spread out across massive fronts, losing strategic focus. Second, Soviet resistance was far stronger than anticipated, especially around Moscow. Third, the German supply lines were overstretched and vulnerable. And finally, the Red Army launched fierce counterattacks that forced the Germans to retreat. By the winter of 1941, not only had Germany failed to capture Moscow, it had begun to lose ground. From this point forward, the Eastern Front became a nightmare for the Wehrmacht. Operation Barbarossa, originally intended to crush the Soviet Union, had become the beginning of Nazi Germany's downfall. This is a story of mistrust, betrayal, and strategic miscalculation. One where nature, history, and the resilience of a people proved more powerful than any military blueprint. And one that reminds us, invading Russia, especially in winter, has always been a fatal gamble.
In the Unsaid Linden, orders go up for German civilians. Dazed and beaten, they stand at underground entrances which housed many thousands during the bombardment. Landmarks of the beaten town, the Reich, the Brandenburg Gate. Shell-scarred and broken, they were once Germany's